Hello, Royal folks. It's good to see you all here again. This is your regular dose of royal news and analysis. Before we move on to any further details, I would really love to thank you all for your enormous love and support. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. And also, I've included some useful Amazon product links that I think you might find interesting or helpful. If you'd like to support the channel, please take a moment to check them out. And if you decide to make a purchase, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for your time and support. A new chapter in the ongoing debate over royal privacy has emerged, as Prince Harry is said to be grappling with wife Meghan Markle's decision to release new images featuring their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. The move, tied to Meghan's latest business venture, has reignited discussions about the Sussexes' complex relationship with the public eye and the fine line they continue to tread between royal duty, celebrity status, and their desire for a private family life. According to royal commentator Duncan Lacombe, Meghan's choice to include imagery of her daughter in promotional material for her lifestyle brand As Ever marks a notable departure from Harry's long-standing and vocal position on keeping his children out of the spotlight. The development, though subtle, is already being interpreted as a pivotal moment in the Sussexes' media strategy, one that highlights not only their different approaches to fame, but also the unavoidable tension between their royal past and their Hollywood present. Launched just last week, Meghan's new lifestyle website, As Ever, introduces itself as a brand centered on food, gardening, and entertaining, areas the Duchess of Sussex says represent what she cherishes most. The website's visual branding includes a photograph of Meghan, barefoot and smiling, running through a sunlit field with 3-year-old Princess Lilibet. Though the child's face is carefully obscured, the image immediately captured attention across both mainstream and social media. Royal watchers noted the photo as strikingly symbolic. It evokes freedom, nature, and maternal joy while simultaneously feeding the public's enduring curiosity about the Sussex children. It was also instantly scrutinized as evidence of a broader shift in the couple's handling of their children's public exposure. Prince Harry, now 40, has often been unequivocal in his desire to shield his children from intrusive media coverage. Since moving to Montecito, California in 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have shared only a handful of carefully curated family images, most often released through their personal projects or annual Christmas cards. This minimal visibility was widely interpreted as part of Harry's effort to prevent Archie and Lilibet from enduring the same intense scrutiny that plagued his own childhood, particularly following the relentless paparazzi pursuit of his mother, Princess Diana, which many believe contributed to her tragic death in 1997. Speaking on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast in 2021, Harry described his determination to break the cycle of inherited pain and trauma associated with royal life. You inherit every element of it without choice, he said at the time. If I've experienced some form of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that perhaps my father or parents suffered, I'm going to make sure I break that cycle. For Harry, then, privacy is not just a preference but a deeply personal mission, which is why Meghan's apparent pivot towards featuring their children, even in controlled, partial glimpses, has been perceived as potentially controversial both inside and outside the couple's marriage. Royal commentator Duncan Lacombe, speaking to OK Magazine, argued that the inclusion of Lilibet in As Ever's promotional imagery is likely to have shocked many royal watchers, he explained. There's probably some truth in the idea that Harry and Meghan perhaps don't see eye to eye on this. Once you begin to expose your children to the public sphere, it's a tap you won't get to turn off. Lacombe went further, warning that while celebrity children can sometimes be shielded by their parents' carefully created boundaries, the situation for royal offspring is inherently different. Being a royal isn't like being a celebrity. You're stuck with it, he said. I think Harry struggles to accept his kids are, to some extent, public property because they're royal. The commentator drew comparisons with other royal families, pointing out that while Princess Anne chose not to grant titles to her children, Peter, Phillips, and Zara Tyndall, they nevertheless remain public figures by virtue of their heritage. It's an almost impossible task to keep them out of the limelight forever, he added. While Harry's views on privacy are rooted in trauma and experience, Meghan appears to be adopting what Lacombe called a tentative approach to sharing. By showing Lilibet without revealing her face, Meghan seems to be attempting a compromise, acknowledging public interest while maintaining some degree of protection. It's a method familiar in Hollywood circles, where celebrities like Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Kristen Bell have likewise withheld full face images of their children while still acknowledging them publicly. Critics argue, however, that even blurred or partial exposure erodes the protective barrier Harry has long insisted upon. For some, the decision reflects Meghan's dual identity as both royal and celebrity, navigating two worlds that often operate under very different rules of publicity. Friends of Prince Harry have previously described his fatherhood as intensely protective, even anxious. He has openly admitted to suffering flashbacks of the paparazzi frenzy surrounding Princess Diana and fears similar invasions of privacy could affect his children. The Duke has been especially vocal about the legal and moral dimensions of press intrusion. He remains engaged in multiple lawsuits against British tabloids, pursuing accountability for what he has described as decades of unlawful practices. Against that backdrop, the decision to include his daughter in promotional content, however carefully, would understandably feel to Harry like a contradiction of his core beliefs. Harry's views have always been clear. His children should not be used as part of any form of public marketing or engagement. One royal observer told the Daily Mail, so even a single image, if tied to a commercial venture, becomes symbolically charged. Public response to the image has been predictably divided. Supporters of Meghan praised the photograph's artistry and defended her right to include glimpses of her family in a way she deems safe. Critics, however, accuse the Duchess of hypocrisy, claiming she has used privacy arguments selectively, rejecting unwanted press intrusion while simultaneously capitalizing on controlled exposure for professional purposes. Social media platforms lit up with debate, with hashtags such as hashtag Archie and Lilibet and hashtag as ever trending in the days after the website launch. Some users pointed to the image as proof that the Sussexes are inching closer to the celebrity model of branding, while others sympathized with the couple's difficulty in balancing family life and public expectation. The situation touches on a broader, timeless issue within the monarchy. Can royal children ever truly live private lives? History suggests otherwise. Even those royals who deliberately attempted to shield their offspring, whether Princess Anne or Prince Edward, found that their children were inevitably drawn to the public gaze at major life events, from weddings to charitable appearances. For Harry and Meghan, the challenge is heightened by geography and circumstance. Living in California, they inhabit an entertainment culture that thrives on curated access and visibility. At the same time, their royal titles ensure that Archie and Lilibet's lives will always hold international fascination. As Meghan's business grows, it remains to be seen whether her promotional strategy will continue to feature family oriented imagery, and how Prince Harry will respond to it over time. Observers suggest that the couple may ultimately be forced to negotiate a clear boundary, either a total embargo on using their children in any public facing work, or a limited, carefully managed exposure that satisfies both Harry's concerns and Meghan's branding ambitions. Once you open the door, even slightly, the press and the public will always want more, Lacombe warned. The key is whether Harry and Meghan can agree on whether that door should close. For now, the debate underscores the central paradox of the Sussexes' post royal life. In stepping away from royal duties to protect their family's privacy, they remain tethered to a public curiosity that shows no sign of fading. Prince Harry's reported discomfort over Meghan Markle's decision to include Princess Lilibet in promotional material for As Ever highlights not just a marital difference of opinion, but a broader dilemma about the nature of royal identity in the modern age. Can Archie and Lilibet grow up shielded from the spotlight, or will their royal heritage inevitably make them figures of public fascination no matter their parents' wishes? For Harry, the issue cuts deep, rooted in the trauma of losing his mother to a life overshadowed by paparazzi lenses. For Meghan, it appears to be a question of balance, acknowledging her children's place in her life while attempting to retain control over their visibility. Whether the couple can reconcile these competing instincts remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Every image, every statement, and every decision concerning Archie and Lilibet will be carefully analyzed, not just by the press, but by a global audience captivated by the ongoing story of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So, what do you think about this news, guys? Write down in the comments what you think and let me know. Until then, guess we'll just have to wait and see if things turn out to be something after all. Subscribe now and become part of a community dedicated to diving deep into the stories that touch our lives. Your support is more than just a click. It's a commitment to staying connected and engaged with what matters most. As simple as that. Thank you so much.